pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we pray this day for your ever-enduring guidance. We ask you to clothe us in wisdom and fortitude, that we may dispense our knowledge and facts intelligently among all humanity of whom we serve. Amen. Announcement of items discussed in closed session.
Board met in closed session to discuss conference with labor negotiator Richard Egan, including bargaining units of Lassen County Road Workers Association and Lassen County Management Association. There was no reportable action. The board also met to discuss one claim. There was no reportable action.
Agenda approval, additions or deletions.
I'd like to postpone item G6 until next week.
I think an agenda item report by board members is left off with no additional information. The board of supervisors, I didn't see it. Okay. We're moving to
Information for the board.
information for the board, the H3, the unagenda item report for board members at H3. Take a look at that. Okay, do we have a motion to accept the agenda?
Yes, that we adjourn.
Got that, we have a motion to approve the agenda. Second. Any more discussion? Mr. Spencer?
There was a lot of commotion, Bob, when you were doing something with H3. Could you repeat that?
Yes, I can. Unagenda item reports for board members were mistakenly left off the agenda.
Okay.
So we're gonna move it to H3 and do it at the same time we do information for the board of supervisors.
Thank you.
Them changes, we got motion and second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it, thank you. We go on to public comment, and first I have Dean.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors, Dean Grouden, Sheriff Coroner. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the minor investigations. There isn't really any new information to give you, but we are investigating it as a homicide. We believe he may have interrupted a burglary at his place of business. It appears there may have been a struggle subsequent to that, which ultimately resulted in the injuries that caused his death. Obviously, that's what I believe based on what we've seen, but obviously we're looking at all angles as we conduct the investigation. The main thing I want the public to know, we appreciate their help and support. They've got a great deal of information, and the main thing is I want them to know that please keep it coming. If you know anything, call us, because we're following up on everything. Sometimes I think people, we can't. It's too bad in some ways, obviously, that we can't report back to the people on what we're doing, but we have to look out for the integrity of the investigation first and foremost. So I want people to know that we are following up on the information. We do appreciate them calling in and giving it to us. So ultimately, between that, the forensic analysis and everything else, hopefully we can determine what truly happened there, what the facts are. I'd like to also recognize the agencies that have helped us to this point. CDCR, we had to secure that business for either 4 or 5 days, and obviously with a small department, we get taxed pretty quick trying to conduct an in-depth investigation like this and maintaining security at multiple crime scenes. So as in the past, we called CDCR and they sent some people to help us out. We appreciate that. CHP, the first couple days of the investigation, we asked for some help. They gave us a couple officers to go out and help our people with the field investigation. And then the California Department of Justice, they processed the scene itself, where it occurred, and they're doing all the forensics analysis on all the evidence recovered from the scene. So just wanted to thank those agencies. So, thank you.
Any questions for Dean? None? Okay, next would be Debbie.
Good morning. I'm going to give this to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. The last time I was in here, I was told that somebody would get back to me and I never heard anything. First point I'd like to make is the distance to our place. We're 70 miles from Susanville, 16 and a half miles off the highway. The last 6.5 miles are dirt road. Our road is 2 miles long, and we get an average of 2 cars a day, 3 if we go somewhere. And I feel like we're being discriminated against. All these pictures here, I have hundreds more of rotten buildings and sheds. We said that our sheds were rotten and falling down. Not true. The first pictures are ours. The sheds are not rotting, they're not falling down, they're not in disrepair. All the people I've spoke to have not heard a word from the county planning commission about all these sheds and houses and barns that are rotting and falling down, that are a danger to the public. Children don't care if a shed's half fallen down, they're in it anyway. And yet they're standing there, nothing's being said or done to any of them. Travel trailers, there's hundreds of them being lived in. One right down the street from the sheriff's department. Nobody's doing or saying anything to any of them at all. Galen said we live like transients. We elected to stay and live in travel trailers to keep the animals from being put to death when we got all of our money for a house got stolen from us. We gave up a lot to take care of these animals, and we will continue to do so. It's not their fault that humans were mean, abusive, tortured, and did other unspeakable things to these animals. And why this county wants to throw us out and put us homeless on the streets of Susanville, and that's what happened. We got no place to go or money to go anywhere with. And all these animals will be put to death. For what reason? What purpose? No one in our community wants to see us go. No one in our community has filed any complaints. Our animals have never caused a problem for anyone in the community. Not ever. And I don't care if I spend the rest of my life in a travel trailer, as long as the animals are cared for. That's what we're all about, what we've always been all about. And all these lies about no permits for the sheds, before I built any of those 3 sheds, I called the planning commission, asked them if I needed a permit. They said no. If it's smaller than 12 by 12 or smaller, and it's not permanently attached to the ground in any way, shape, or form, or to anything else, you don't have to have a permit. So that's what I did. The first one I built on pallets. I put plastic down, pallets on that, plastic on the pallets, plywood on that, and built the walls up from that. The second one, we built a deck on pressure-treated 4x4 posts. Strong enough so the horse we'd rescued, because I knew he was going to get on it the very next morning he was on it. Then we needed more storage space, so I built walls on it and put a slanted roof. The third one's built on 4x4 pressure-treated posts laid on the ground, plastic, plywood, walls. They're all within the guidelines of the planning commission, and yet he's screaming and hollering they're not. If our dog kennels are illegal, every dog kennel in Lassen County is illegal and has to come down as well. He's totally discriminating against us, and it's not right. We haven't hurt anybody, we're not bothering anybody, and yet he's made it his goal to put us out homeless and kill all these animals, and I do not understand why. He's saying illegal, that we have electricity that was illegally installed. The contractor put it all in with the permits that he got. He put power to the well house, and he put a freestanding post with power to it, to which I built the shed right up to. Not attached to, just built right next to it. He's never inspected. I offered for him to come out and inspect. He keeps saying they're attached to the trailers. They're not. And he won't come out and inspect it. But he keeps throwing all these insinuations out there. I'm tired of it. If he's going to arrest me, damn it, arrest me. And we'll settle it in a court of law. But these hateful, nasty letters have got to stop. Charles has already had a stroke because of this shit. We're both on antidepressants. It's got to stop. We have no money to go anywhere. All these realtors in this town that have been advertising all around our area, I called them all. They asked my name. The minute I told them my name, we don't list in Ravendale anymore. But they didn't say that until they asked my name. And the signs that were out there are gone. They were all taken out. Why?
Thank you.
I need a decision on this. I can't keep this up. You guys are going to kill me.
Thank you, Debbie. Mr. Benson?
Wanted to remind, this is on the same issue, I wanted to remind the board that in 2006 when I started Lassen Animal Rescue, because you were killing too many animals, we were killing 2 dozen a week at the animal control. I don't think I was open a month before I got a letter from Tracy Wittry threatening me. It was a threatening letter. I still have it. I passed it out several times over the years that I had to close my rescue down. And so what I did, similar to what Debbie did, is I wrote her back and said, you send me a letter. I want all the letters like the one you sent me to all the foster care homes. We had a lot more than we have today, telling them they have to shut down also. That ended it. Several weeks later, I put up a carport, freestanding carport, and the day the workers came, feeling very picked on at this point, I guess I pissed somebody off at Tracy's office or pissed her off, but the same day they came out to install my freestanding, not attached to anything, all within the setbacks, the county sent somebody out to tell him I couldn't do it. And so I got in my car. He didn't even leave. I left him standing there. He no longer works for the county. And I came down and I said, do I need a permit or not? Because I came in here before I even signed the contract for this. So you have a tendency, a really bad history of thinking you can pick on people. I'm not, you found out, I'm not somebody you can pick on. I know how to fight back. And so I think what you need to do is kind of listen to the people that come in here and say they're being discriminated against. Debbie is a horrific story of the harassment and discrimination she's had to endure over the years. But don't underestimate Debbie either, because she's a lady that can fight back, and I'm standing with her.
Anybody else wish to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. Go to step 1. Vacancy on Big Valley Recreation District.
Yeah, I do. I would recommend the approval of, there's 2 vacancies, and we have 3 applicants here, but there might be another one resigning, so we'll say first. So I would recommend that we appoint Diana Hockett and Jeanette Miller to the Big Valley Recreation District Board.
second to, any discussion?
I have a quick question. Does the boundary of this district include lands within Ladon County as well?
Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Go to, G, information consent calendar. This is tentative after G two to be taken off for separate consideration, and G six will be removed to future date.
I'm gonna pull G4 and G8.
G four and G eight for Aaron. What, Jim?
Yeah, 4.
Oh, four, yeah. Okay, with removal of those, we have a motion to approve the remaining.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody from the public have anything other than this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Let's have it, okay. G2, expenses.
This is kind of the same question I had when you terminated Mr. Nichols. You listed on the same report as that he retired, and I think it was talked about that maybe you should have put the truth down there that he had been, terminated. You don't have a terminated thing on here. Losses maybe, but this report under promotion and transfer has County Council Robert Burns being promoted or transferred. And in fact, before this board, he presented his resignation, and then he is basically, should have been listed as a new hire. But I don't know how, does that affect his pay that you have to put under promotion or transfer? I mean, he wasn't promoted and he wasn't transferred. So I need to understand the thinking that the way you list people that isn't factual.
Richard, do you want to?
Sure, I can address that. The term promotion transfer indicates a transfer from one budget unit or one department to another within the county without leaving the employment of the county. And that's the closest description to what occurred with Mr. Burns that we have in terms of a heading. He wouldn't be considered a new hire in terms of any of the payroll actions, whether it be CalPERS, retirement, health benefits, et cetera, to describe as a resignation or a loss, I don't think would be appropriate fiscally at least. So I think it's the closest description that we have in the context of the report. Those are the facts. Mr. Burns was appointed to be county council and later resigned as district attorney, so.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on item Aaron
Approve
one.
that one. You wanna approve this one?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I'll move approval of D2.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, G4, Aaron.
Yeah, I just have to pull this, just because I saw Mr. Hemphill walk in, he's the deputy commissioner. And anyway, I was just curious on what his status is, so we can have our own county guy.
Joe Morrow asked me to get the MOU done, because last year we actually exceeded it when we passed the limits, so he wanted to get it renewed. And he's off traveling right now, doing county business, so he wasn't able to make it today. My current status is I have my sealer's license, so what we need is the ag commissioner's part of the, I need his license still for us to be able to receive gas tax. And I want to say thank you to the board for you guys given me the opportunity to do the job that I've been doing. Not too many people in California have the opportunity to do what I've done. So it's been pretty good for me to be able to grow my wings and work under somebody like that and actually have the day-to-day responsibilities, and I know what I'm getting myself into when I finally get my license. I did pass the written deputy ag side of it. I just haven't passed the oral yet, and I signed up to take the oral and the ag commissioner's exam. So next time around, hopefully I'll get it. So that's where we're at.
Craig, what kind of time frame of completing this process?
Oh God, it's been 15 years.
Can we expedite
If they handed out the
it?
licenses, I would have had one a long time ago.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
get that.
But
Can we expedite it? Can we get this in?
they have. They used to only be once a year. Now you can take the exams like twice a year. So it's been good.
When is the next one, Craig?
Probably 6 months. It'll be in November.
We'll see.
And can we shoot for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
You have a motion to approve.
Yes.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. 8. Aaron.
Yeah, just reading on this, on the Honey Lake RCD, on the third page, they're talking about the Lassen SWAT, and it said, Willis said the county has hired employees for SWAT. What's that referring to?
Craig might address that also.
Please.
That's your weed abatement.
Yeah, that's how we debate it, Aaron. We have. It's a long story. SWAT was a special weed action team that was actually formed. We were the first. Lassen County was a pioneer in getting people together at the table, and we're actually the first weed management area in the nation. And that was with Ken Smith and Caltrans and BLM and all that. And as time evolved, we got some grants, and the BLM was the grant manager, and they ended up, when the BLM wasn't allowed to have those employees do that type of work on private land, they gave some money and some equipment to the RCD. So currently, we use the equipment from the RCD because there's a little bit of money that's left. There's like $3,000 left, and I told them to, hey, keep that money for your equipment maintenance. And we use the equipment, and yes, we hired people to do SWAT work as far as the weed crew, and that's the collaboration that we have with the SWAT team.
Okay.
And actually, the MOU needs to be revised and redone. You'll be seeing something down the road for that, but that's where we're currently at on our weed control.
It was interesting when this came about a few years ago, was how the white top, how it kind of basically migrated down the valley, followed the river, the water streams and so forth, and how it, and even right through the middle of the city, where we had even parcels here in the city that were draining the river that were heavily infested by the white top that was carried by the waterways. Migrated. This team was put together because it transcended several jurisdictions. You could have a person take proactive action to take care of the problem with their parcel, and then you have the next 3 parcels contaminated, and the guy was constantly battling so they'd come back to reinfect his place. So the idea behind these multi-jurisdictional things is cohesive action where you can take care of everybody all at once and hopefully eradicate the problem. I think the weeds are still in.
Oh, yeah, it's never ending.
Okay.
That was the only question I have.
Good enough. Thank you.
Maybe it'd be good to have an upward presentation of that report, because it's been a few years and I've counted very fast.
We'll give it a few more weeks.
We're getting a lot more weeds, so maybe Craig, Richard, I think it'd be good to have that presentation updated, maybe made here sometime in the future meetings. It would be good to see where that stands, but especially if the funding has changed, like with BLM and some of those folks.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Okay, and we'll move to page 1.
Mr. Chairman, with the resignation of Ms. Carla Marno Bryce earlier this year, created the vacancy in the Director of Child Services position, and we have recruited for that position. We've got 5 applicants. As you know, that's a board-appointed position, and so I'm just asking you today how you would like to proceed as far as the selection process. If you prefer, we being myself and our personnel analyst, could screen the applicants and then bring them forward for you to interview, or you could interview all 5. We have 5 applicants, so just looking for direction as far as how you'd like to proceed with that selection process.
What do you guys think?
Well, if you would screen them, Richard, would that narrow the pool down? Your screening process, or?
Probably. I think we narrow it down to maybe 3. I haven't looked in depth at the applications, but there are certain minimum qualifications established that may.
I'd like to read all the applications.
5's not that large of a number. If you wanted to just interview them all, we could set that up
I'm
soon.
good with that.
Can we do it all in one day?
Mhm.
Odds are one or two will probably
Fall
drop
out.
out, because every time you set up an interview, there's always one or two
That
that
drop
have
out.
to travel out, and just decide at the last moment not to show up.
Customarily, those types of interviews are done in closed session,
Absolutely.
if that's,
Sure.
okay.
Okay,
We'll schedule that accordingly.
go to H2.
Mr. Chairman, due to the fact that I do business with the Chamber of Commerce, I'm going to disqualify myself from this.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, as you're aware, the Lassen County Chamber of Commerce came to the Budget Committee over the last month with 2 different requests. One of those is for a request of $2,000 towards a contribution of a purchase of a commercial Christmas tree at the top of Main Street. There are members of the chamber here, and I'll let them go into more detail on exactly that request. The second request is also by the, well, it's the same individuals, that I don't know officially as the chamber, I believe they're acting as the chamber, to make a contribution towards the 150th anniversary celebration of the county, which is tentatively scheduled for September 5th. My recommendation is that if the board's inclined to make these contributions, to do that through the discretionary funds that you normally use for those types of activities, but not necessarily supervisor by supervisor, but out of that line item, because there is a line item amount budgeted that would accommodate that right now during the budget, part of the budget cycle we're in now, without having adopted a new budget for next year. So that's my recommendation, and I would invite the chamber folks to come up and expand on the projects that are working.
Good morning. Okay, well, should I just kind of outline like I did the other day, and just start
We have you
from scratch?
Your
Okay.
name first.
Oh, I'm Julie Brown, and I'm the committee chair for the Magical Country Christmas annual event. And as you know, the tree has been constantly an issue from when we started 8 years ago. And we had what we thought was a fantastic plan, just lighting it once, getting lights in really well, but we hadn't anticipated that squirrels would eat the lights, so, or the wiring, so that sort of eliminated that whole plan. So we kept throwing new lights every year, and Elmed and the fire department were very helpful in reinstalling the lights every year, but of course, we had to put an end to that eventually, because it was just out of control, and we were gonna probably burn up the tree if we continued on that road. So last year, we tried utilizing the flagpole with the lights, and it really didn't give us the effect that we had hoped for. But we felt like a commercial Christmas tree was just out of our budget, and it wasn't something that we could contemplate. Well, we have located a source where we discovered that we can purchase a tree and sort of build on it and start with a smaller tree So what we're shooting for is a 20-foot tree, and it's made where you stack this frame, and you stack it upon itself, and so you can constantly add to the base of it to bring it up higher. So, you look confused. So, you know, we're hoping to eventually maybe add to it to get to a 30-foot tree.